What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Village video. And in this video, we are going to be breaking down the gameplay and the rest of the showcase from Resident Evil Village, which was the world premiere that we saw on Thursday, baby.
Absolutely.
So let's hit it.
Now we're here to give you an exclusive first look at Resident Evil Village gameplay.
Oh, yeah. So right here, this is the statue, one of the first statues we saw in the whole village, which looks like it has like a goat's head on the front.
Yep.
Of the statue.
And a
right
rapier.
Like
She has a rapier in her hand. Or rapier.
Right.
And all the footage for the showcase was captured on a PS5 as well.
Yep.
They did notate that in the corner.
And this looks like the
graveyard.
The graveyard,
cemetery,
yep.
Yeah.
Control of Ethan Winters.
Take control of Ethan, as we know.
You'll make your way from the village to the castle.
From the village to the castle. So you start from the village, go right into the castle.
There's the demon door.
That is the demon door,
Yeah, that's
actually.
the demon door. Okay.
Say, let's
go back a little bit, because I've been really curious.
You'll make your way from the village to the
that's
castle.
the demon door
Yep,
right
you
there
can
with
see
the
it right
torches.
there.
That's awesome. I cannot wait.
So basically that's going to be your big entry door into the village to the castle.
Yeah, or at least we assume, because the castle looks like the looming overhead.
Players will need to get in and search for their kidnapped daughter. As
Easier
you've
said than
noticed by
done.
now, Resident Evil Village keeps the first-person perspective. We think it really draws players into the detailed world we've created.
Okay, so that's kind of a point that kind of goes back to what they were talking about in Resident Evil 7 about you being the character, being the person that's taking control as Ethan, which is why Ethan doesn't have a face or he doesn't have much of a personality. But now their real thing is that, like, we want you to be in a first-person perspective because we really want to throw you into this world of the village.
Yeah.
You know, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 being over the shoulder and people seeing this might be a little off-put, but their goal here is to really show you everything in this perspective at this point with this art design, with this kind of storytelling. Like, that's kind of the style that they're trying to go towards with this, and that's kind of what he just said there. I want to go back for a second there. So as soon as he walks into this part of the castle, we see a painting of, it looks like three girls, three ladies. Can't really zoom in any closer to that, but
It just looks like maybe the three daughters.
Yeah.
And this is some of the, the main hall we saw in the village
You'll see a
demo.
lot of those little details come to life here.
I mean, the lighting and everything looks great in this setting, especially this is exactly what we saw in the maiden
team
demo.
put a ton of effort into creating a truly authentic feel. From art design to technology.
There we go. So we have, this looks like the room in which he drinks the blood. Where we see the tall lady in this room earlier, we didn't get a chance to really see the floor, or we saw some of it. It looks like there's a bunch of files and blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything ties in great and creates some beautiful visuals.
Like this chair. Yeah, so this is just them obviously boasting about the graphics and the RE engine, as they should. It does look really good in the maiden demo on the PS5, so that's what they're kind of showing off here.
Now it's time to meet some of the castle denizens. As you'd expect,
There's
a warm
the castle
welcome is not
denizens.
really what's in store for Ethan.
So there they slice his leg as he's greeted by the daughters. This is probably the first introduction, or this is how they encap him to bring him to the tall lady. Notice the necklaces that she has hanging by her chest.
Looks like a dagger.
A dagger.
Like a rapier, a little green gemstone, and like a fang or something.
And she also has the insignia on like her head. It's
Yeah,
kinda
which some
like-
people are saying is a rose. Some people are saying it's a flower. Some people say it's a dream catcher.
Yeah, it looks like they all either have this necklace or something very similar.
Yeah.
Man blood.
Man blood, she said.
Yeah.
And then here you go, dragging him into the room right here, where all the blood was. She drinks the blood.
Now, let's take a look at him.
There you go. That first look right there, that's the look in her eyes when she sees Ethan for the very first time. Very creepy. They all turn around and look at the same time she looks.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's play that back one more time. I just love the music cue when she turns around.
Now,
Let's take a look.
let's take a look at him.
Just like that moment of like,
Yeah.
oh man, like this, you are the center of attention.
Well, Ethan Winters. You escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
And then I imagine after that, it kind of cuts back to what we saw in the other trailers with her drinking some of his blood. I mean, how else do you really find out how someone is special in the way that she's trying to find out Ethan's special? She must take a crack at that blood, baby.
Shifting gears a bit, we're finally going to show off some combat.
So here's the combat. This is what we all want to see right now, and we want to break down because the demo, obviously, doesn't have a lot of combat. So all we can really judge off of the combat now is what we see in this little video until we get a combat demo this coming spring. There we go. We got the hooded enemies making an appearance.
It's not just about shooting. Guarding will also be an important part of the game.
So there you go. As you saw, he just shot the sword out of their arm. But as he just mentioned, as Peter just mentioned, he said it's not just about shooting. Guarding will also be an important part of the game. So they are initializing the guarding and the kicking to really add a defense level to Ethan, more so than what he had in Resident Evil 7. Which is going to show here. Blocks, and then melees pushes him away, kicks his ass.
I think it looks fine.
Each type of enemy.
Okay, so this is something we want to slow down. So this obviously looks like shit's on fire, shit's in flames. We saw this in the last demo. But he mentions in right here, as you can see in the subtitles, is each type of enemy has their own distinct way of fighting. So right now we do see the Axeman. He's about to go ham, while we have a bunch of these beastmen walking around as Ethan's shooting at him with a shotgun.
Has their own distinct way of fighting, so you'll need to change up your strategy to defeat them.
So right there just shows that he can clearly damage his own enemies.
Yeah, so
without giving a fuck.
They definitely like Mr. X and Nemesis can do that too.
Yeah.
They kind of they can punch zombies and
Yep.
stuff.
That whole Type 2 fight when he's with the canisters, you literally rely on him to hit the enemies just so you don't have to worry about the pale heads and shit coming out, you know? This looks really intense because they're trying to showcase how many enemies they can display on the screen at one time and how you're going to have to adapt from different combat points.
And they're trying to show you that, like, obviously he doesn't care about them because he's just swinging. And he also has attack patterns, which is something we don't really see in Resident Evil all that often.
Mm-hmm.
Even in most Resident Evil, enemies grab you and bite you. Like, that's always been kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
Even in Resident Evil 4, the Garradors have, like, the swinging randomly attack, and like they have like that very like repeatedly swinging and attacking even if they don't know where you're at. But a lot of enemies really don't. Most of them grab you or rely on getting in close. But here he is displaying he has like a triple smash.
Yeah.
Which is something that you really don't see a lot in Resident Evil.
And as far as we know, you don't get the Jill dodge in this, so it's kind of like you're kind of up against your whatever defense that you have as he's wiping down these enemies. There.
A flaming arrow.
As he goes and reaches for one last blow with the hammer.
You will get the arrow snipers again. It's happening, which we called.
Yeah,
we knew.
We did. Yeah,
because of the the one area where there was
you just saw a bunch of them stuck in the ground,
volleying down.
Distinct way of fighting, so you'll need to change up your strategy to defeat them.
Look at this. Bam,
bam, bam, bam. He
also,
was going for the triple hit.
Yeah, dude. You can also hear the arrows if you listen closely.
Yeah.
And there was I saw 3 or 4 of them. I couldn't make out come down during that little sequence.
Yeah. So a lot of actions happening. Clearly, what he's referencing here is also adapting to your play style. So if you know you're in this section of the game, maybe upgrade your shotgun more because the blast radius is going to benefit you. Maybe try to go more in depth with your upgrades because that's going to play a crucial role in how the combat plays out for you. So, saving your lay for proper upgrades and proper weapons and utilizing which weapons first is going to play a big role in the gameplay as well.
Everyone knows what to do with red barrels, right?
So here's the red barrel. So red barrels return. And this is important right here because this is showing the weapon case.
Some of you will remember a similar management system in Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
This time around, we've added crafting, which allows you to create items such as first aid and ammo.
So here's an F2 rifle.
There's also an assortment of weapons to find and utilize throughout the game.
So here you go. So this is just showing more of what we actually wanted to see.
Yep.
The assortment of weapons, the fact that, as we said in the screenshot breakdown when we saw stuff from the Duke, the merchant himself, that you can buy bigger weapon cases for multiple weapons. So you're, as you see here, Ethan's at this point, he's wielding the handgun, the shotgun, and the rifle. So obviously your inventory is already looking tight compared to like what it normally is if you get an extra large case. So this is going to be utilized as well. I'm just happy to see more weapons because RE7 scaled it back to like Resident Evil 1 as far as like you only got like 4 weapons probably, like give or take maybe 5. But like this game now, it's really expanding on that.
Yeah, I don't know how many weapons you really had in 7. I can't recall off the top of my head. I
just
know
remember it
you have the
being
handgun, the shotgun,
Grenade launcher,
the grenade launcher
flamethrower for Marguerite, and then
the Magnum. You could get the Magnum from the coin machine, and then I think Chris had some weapons too.
right. I'm
He had
talking
like
main
the machine
game,
gun, but the
usually.
main game, it was mostly just it was a very it was like Resident Evil 1. They had they
scaled it
scaled
back
back
a
how
little bit.
many you had,
Right.
comparatively to like 4, 5, and 6, like 1, 2, and 3.
You're against bigger
And Code
threats.
Veronica
Yeah.
and 7 felt like they all had a similar number of weapons, which doesn't really not work. It's just it's
Sure.
cool to see the next game having a little bit more, especially like a scope, because I think that's pretty cool, and I think the scope does work a little better in first person, because if there are going to be archers and people who are trying to snipe you with bows and arrows, that's going to come in handy when you switch to that and just pick them off.
Yeah.
And I liked that about Resident Evil 4. I liked that you could plan your route. For an action game, it's always important to be able to plan your route and the way that you're going to go through and tackle an obstacle or tackle an area. Maybe you pick out some people before, if this game has a system like Resident Evil 4 does, where they are alert and you hear the sound come in, like the and then you know they know where you are. Again, look for Rose in the castle is also on this screen,
Just like the screenshot.
which, speculate if you want about who Rose is. It's either going to be his daughter, which I think is the most likely
Yeah.
thing, probably.
That'll be the first place you would
Rose
look
is
for.
probably, I think Rose is a good name for the daughter.
Yeah.
And I think that lines up with leaks as well that came out earlier in the year. So it's a safe bet. We just don't know because it hasn't been officially announced
Right,
yet, so
they
we're not
haven't
going to
said a
say
name
anything
officially.
officially.
What
But
do you think of the weapon case? You think you're happy to see it return from RE4?
I think it's fine. I think the weapon case system was fine. I was honestly hoping they would keep that going forward.
they
I
kinda discarded it in 5 and
absolutely
6.
despise Resident Evil 5's inventory.
It's just blocks.
It's
and-
fucking horrible.
Well, they
And
tried
the-
to redesign it for the co-op purpose of
Yeah, I
easily
know.
switching
I
stuff.
just
And then RE6
hate
made it even worse.
Well, RE6's is just as bad. It's worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
Right.
Like
so them redoing
the best thing
it,
about 6's inventory is the Tic Tacs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's the, like-
seven had to rescale it. 2 and 3 redefined it, and here we are with 7 or with Village rather, post 7, and it's looking good. There you go. Got the rifle locked and loaded. Here we go.
The Duke.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Winters.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Winters.
He definitely sounds like
You know my
Penguin.
name.
Anyone has heard of the likes of you.
The merchant makes a return. This time he's known as the Duke.
I like how they called him the merchant too, because he knows that's just what everyone calls him.
Hey.
It's the merchant.
What if it's the same guy?
He just got fat as shit.
Yeah, and he lost his accent.
But I like how it's like everyone around there, even the Duke knows who Ethan is. So it's like, he's like, how the fuck do you know me? And it's like, that's something we never really got with like the merchant, because obviously people meme and say it's like Kendo and all this stuff. But it's like, wouldn't it have been cool if, I know, but wouldn't it have been cool if like he had some kind of like interaction, like, oh, Leon, like,
Yeah.
I know of you. But it's like, how the fuck do you know Leon?
how
but
do you
it's
know
like,
Leon? Well, I mean, how do you
everyone
not know Leon?
Exactly. But everyone else on that island knows. So it's like,
Kennedy.
yeah, it's like you always wonder with the merchant. It's like, is he one of them? Why is he trying to help Leon? What? I think it's cool that, again, they even brought him back. But let's take a look.
It's cool.
Let's take a look here because this is also stuff we broke down on the screenshot breakdown.
Yeah.
You'll be going to him to buy and sell weapons, amongst other things.
So there you go. You got your supplies, the gunsmithy, the Duke's purse. As
Which we
said,
did go over in the screenshot
we went
breakdown.
over it. Supplies is for buying ammo and health and grenades. Gunsmithy is for the upgrades. And the Duke's purse is for selling. As you see, the bunch of lay coins there, right there in the corner. And here you go. You can finally upgrade firepower, rate of fire, reload speed, magazine size for the first time ever since, I think, Resident Evil 5. I know that there was other upgrades in 6 with skill points and Revelations 2, but this has been a while since we've seen anything like this in a long time. RE5 was the last time that you had upgrades. RE6, all the guns were just standard, and then if you added skill points for set tiers, they would benefit guns in particular ways, but it didn't really do a lot. So
yeah, I don't mind the return of this. I personally am not crazy about upgrading guns in Resident Evil 4. It was a feature that I didn't care that left.
I'm a big fan of this personally.
But
just my opinion.
I personally also don't really think that it's a problem if it's going to carry over into New Game Plus. I would really like to see a New Game Plus feature in this game, like really badly.
I think you'll see it.
I really do want to see that.
It's
because
been prevalent at this point.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think that New Game Plus feature is a necessity here. I think it's cool that you can kind of see the Duke's little symbol there.
Yeah.
Is like two horses
with the crown in the middle.
With the crown in the middle and the wings and the deer on top. And it makes me wonder if the Duke is going to belong to that house.
Yeah. If they just bake him right into the lore.
Because maybe the Duke belongs to Heisenberg's house. You never know.
Yeah, you never
House
know.
Heisenberg.
And he mentions something about him in elements of the story in a second here.
Mm-hmm.
The director wanted to give him a unique look, and you'll often find him in different situations each time you encounter him.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's an interesting fella.
So there you go. So they wanted to put him in different scenarios around the game. So
Yes.
you're going to see him in different locations. Kind of like the merchant, but this time he'll be interacting. He'll probably say some quirky or funny shit to Ethan, and Ethan will probably talk to him.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what
sure.
I mean? You'll probably have the interact. That's
I'm
stuff you just
sure
didn't get
he's
in.
going to have the laugh and the taglines too. Like when you buy something,
He has to say
he's
something.
He's
He's
gonna
gotta
say
say
something. He's
something
gonna be
snappy.
like, so you need more firepower, stranger.
firepower.
Well,
And there you go. You got your boxes and barrels and loot.
Smash away with your trusty knife.
Got the
There's
knife.
plenty of items to find in your travels.
There it is. This is cool. Looks like a whole fucking
yeah, it's back
Dungeon
to
of
the
Blood.
Yeah.
Wait, do you hear that?
And
we've
here you
also
go.
got extra objectives outside of
The
map.
goats, collectibles. Once they were Mr. Charlie's,
Of
now
course,
goats.
it goes without saying that there'll be plenty of puzzles
And here's
to
those
solve
statues
for players.
rising out
Yep.
of the ground, like we said earlier in the
Here's to move
videos.
forward. Oh, and plenty of surprises to keep you on your toes.
Also, go back, because one of the things that we should talk about is go hit play and pause it after. Yeah, play, pause.
and
Ethan's hands are bound,
They are.
so he's in handcuffs.
And he's like caught in a booby trap. or
Yeah, this is
something.
definitely like a booby trap or
It
torture
looks
trap.
it looks underground. Looks
Yeah.
like it's in the dungeon. But yeah, so what do you think, John, about them adding more puzzles? Probably in the fan response that 2 and 3 remake didn't have enough puzzles.
I think it's the right thing to do because puzzles are a core element of Resident Evil, and they never should have been done away with. Like
Regardless of the remake, I
Yeah.
think that's like you know
regardless
what I
of
mean?
the
Like,
remake.
why
Yeah,
did-
I mean even 5 and 6 puzzles are bad.
yeah, they were
Like
barely
four
there,
is literally 4's puzzles are literally pick up item, put item in. That's it. That's all there is.
certain parts. There's stuff
What?
like the Stonewall puzzle that requires like you to remember where shit goes.
What's
when you're
Stonewall
actually,
puzzle?
When you're
Oh, you're the
actually-
sliding
stuff
puzzle?
like that. Yeah, like that's putting one piece in, but you have to
Yeah,
adjust
so
everything.
you have the sliding puzzle.
There's the insignias in the church. There's like little things like that where you got to match up the colors, but there's some of them are simplistic.
It's so
though.
hollow.
Well, yeah, they're
is what I'm saying.
simplistic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hollow.
But-
the hardest puzzle in that game is to get the green cat's eye.
But anyone can look at any original RE puzzle and be
the
like,
hardest puzzle in that game is to get the green cat's eye.
I would say the hardest puzzle in RE4 was I don't even know.
Or for people trying, or I would say if you count this as a puzzle, I know personally a lot of players, not myself or you or Dustin, because I've had this conversation, or Dylan even, but I know a lot of players struggled to figure out that you had to shoot the chains to get the bridge to drop.
Yeah.
A lot of people had problems with that. They were like, where the hell am I supposed to go?
Right.
But like,
It
yeah,
depends.
you could look at RE1, 2, and 3 and say the puzzles weren't super complex, but at least the puzzles in those games felt like the game was built around
They weren't
them.
like tacked on.
Yeah, they
at
weren't
some
tacked
points,
on,
right.
and they had meaning, and they had real thought put into them for solutions. For example, in Remake, when you have to solve the clock puzzle,
Yeah.
they took the original game and made puzzles.
Yeah.
More puzzles, and they put them in there, which in 2 and 3, it felt like they took puzzles away,
Yep.
the remakes.
And now it's like you're in a whole new village, new castle. There's plenty of shit that can go wrong, plenty of booby traps.
And you know what game has good puzzles?
What's that?
Zero. Zero has good puzzles.
It does. Yeah.
It doesn't have as like,
A lot of the RE games from that era.
I wouldn't rank it as high. Code Veronica has some good puzzles, but
Yeah.
they're, you know,
Yeah,
that's
everyone has
when
their
it started.
preference. Yeah.
Code Veronica's when they started to go away from puzzles and they started making them more streamlined.
Right. But yeah, it does look like Ethan is bound here, and who knows?
Let us know in the comments section below, what game do you think had the best puzzles?
Yeah, and
Not just like the hardest. It doesn't matter if they're hard. It's more like, what game do you think had the best puzzle
that kept you interested.
game design
Yeah,
direction?
that kept you interested and it didn't make you feel like it was tacked on.
Not like Zelda style.
It could be any Resident Evil though.
Any Resident Evil. There's no right or wrong answer,
Right.
really.
You have
unless
your
you pick
preference.
like, I would argue
Operation Raccoon City. Or
I would
something, a
argue
game
5
that-
and 6 have really bad puzzles. 6 has at least cool-ish puzzles where
maybe
like,
more on Ada's side. 'Cause
On
you had to-
Ada's
you had to
side,
think
yeah.
a little bit more.
but
with Chris and Jill with Chris, Leon, and Jake. It
that's
was
a good
like,
point.
You know,
Lost in Nightmares had good puzzles.
Lost Nightmares did. Yeah,
The main game did not. I think so. The main game did not. They
It
had
was-
a couple, but
right. It was more of a puzzle of like trying to just get these Axemen dead with the ceiling and everything. It was more of a piece, piecing that together. But
because the only thing that sticks out to me with 5 was
you got the laser puzzle,
the
and
underground
ancient
laser
ruins.
puzzle. That's
Yeah.
it. Everything else just felt like it was either
It wasn't really there. There wasn't a lot.
there wasn't really a
No.
lot there.
And plenty of surprises to keep you on your toes.
We got more of the bug lady. Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't even mean to do that, but that's interesting too. So we saw the bug crawl through Ethan's hand
Yeah, like
and fly out.
yeah,
So
like it can materialize anywhere.
right,
Which leads me to believe if you don't get those bugs away from you for like if you don't get them away from you fast enough, what if they just materialized all inside of him and just exploded
what's a
him?
death scene? Like you just
Yeah.
fucking see the bugs like go in front of you or whatever.
It's interesting.
I haven't cut open a man in a while. Let me string you up, slice your jugular, and just watch.
So just from this, we didn't get the chance to use combat in the maiden demo against
We
her,
did
but
not.
it seems pretty fucking useless.
It does.
as
yeah.
far as a handgun against her. So clearly we're going to need more than just a handgun to stop her. As Ethan gets wrecked by her.
Well, that's one way to end the video.
But yeah, so that's the gameplay. That's the first exclusive world premiere gameplay that they showed at the Resident Evil Showcase that we live streamed, partnered with Capcom. It was a lot of fun. We obviously wanted to go back and listen, slow it down, break it down for you guys, as we always do here on Let's Talk Resident Evil. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, hit the like, and chances are you may not be subscribed to the Let's Talk Resident Evil channel. Why aren't you? There's so much Resident Evil news that's going to be coming out this whole year, but of course for Resident Evil Village, we're going to keep you in the loop and cover you all the way through. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, hit the like button. If you want some more content and exclusive stuff, we also got that Patreon down below. And we got exclusive merch from the Teespring link as well. Let us know in the comments what you think of this gameplay, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, and what Resident Evil game has your favorite puzzles. Are you happy for those puzzle returns? Let us know down below, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. This video was brought to you by our supporters over on Patreon, where users like Joseph Paverman make it possible to keep on delivering awesome content. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.